Lord, it's tricky.
Yeah, we're speaking.
Is it recording?
The shock value.
What is going on? Safe over here. Gonna say that one.
I really hope Clayton walks in right now.
No, you're fine.
Resources to help you on your
Presentation.
That's it. I'll try to.
That's why you went home early yesterday.
You guys, we were like
I heard that song.
the most amazing performers in our room, and then we came back and we're like, this is gonna be terrible. No, but like circling back on that, and I feel like people were giving us feedback, like how did you feel when we're coming in the room and we're talking about how much we hate this and it sucks, and versus us coming in when we know you're not gonna come into your office playing Lizzo, or maybe you will. Either way, it's just a difference of how you show up as a leader. So being positive is that easy, and it's that fun, and it's a little uncomfortable if you're a little more conservative, which we're not. But it just creates a fun environment. Everyone's laughing, having fun, whether they're participating or not. So you have two options as a leader. You have option one, where it's gossip-centered, paranoid, unmotivated, drained, you feel alone, stuck, lacking momentum, and disrespected. You have option two. You can be positive focused, collaborative, creative, inspired, genuinely happy, energized, respected, and true to the purpose. So it's also about self-reflection and what kind of leader you want to be. So flipping to the next page, if you want to know why your people aren't performing well, step up to the mirror and take a peek. So positive leadership, it's important to take responsibility and change our own abilities and thoughts. Positive thinking encourages others and allows for more productivity and a healthier and positive environment. When a leader is positive and has a strong vision, more people are willing to work. Positive thinking can impact the outcome for any situation. It's important to know your vision and purpose. So again, like going back to the vision boards and sharing that with people. So it's a vision for all of you and sharing that purpose. Also self-reflection. I mean, we're not perfect, we're human, we have hard times. But if you're coming in your office letting whatever it is that's happening in your life be a negative impact every day, your people are gonna feed off of that. They're gonna feel negative, they're not gonna wanna be there. And sometimes you're gonna have to fake it till you make it and just be positive when you walk into the door. And just acknowledging and remembering, which is a lot of responsibility, but you set the tone for the office as the leader. So the way you walk in is the way that everybody's gonna fall in line for the rest of the day. I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea, I can be a little invasive, but I try to make sure that I'm having fun and my people are having fun. And when everyone in the office is having fun and somebody else walks in, whether they're a coworker, a prospect, a current resident, whatever, they instantly feel that positive energy, and they not only want to be in our office, they want to be around us, they want to stay living there, and they feel like a sense of family. So it's that easy to change your occupancy. But also have personal conversations with your team members about their positivity. I mean, hold them accountable, make sure that they know that their positivity is a part of your property doing well or not. So next we have a little slide that we're going to show you. I think Erin was going to, do you want to do your thing yet? No. Sorry.
We'll do the slide first. Okay. Bear with us, we're not tech savvy people, so I'm going to try to get it to start right.
Hello and welcome back to FT Business School. Management ideas come and go, but one that's gaining real traction at the moment, particularly in the US, is that of positive leadership, putting an increased emphasis on those things that work in an organisation rather than focusing on what's going on. Kim Cameron is Associate Dean at the Ross School of Business at the University of Michigan and one of the pioneers in this area. Professor Cameron, why is it this suddenly taken off? Why is it popular now?
I don't know for sure why now, as opposed to other times, but there's a real sense that we've been focusing so much on problems, difficulties, obstacles, that we've been we've become dominated by what's going on. And so this whole focus on positive leadership, positive organization performance, is a focus on what goes right, what's in particular extraordinary about performance organizations, and what happens when you focus on the positive. Interesting factors emerge that we normally not pay attention to. Dynamics occur, things that we can manage that we normally are invisible.
Isn't it just a sort of touchy-feely sort of thing?
That's the normal criticism, is that this is soupy, syrupy, soft, saccharine, sweet, baloney, substance-less. As it turns out, that's not the case at all. We've done lots of research. In fact, this research center that we've created focuses in particular on the hard-nosed, rigorous, difficult situations that arise that, in fact, flourish because of the focus on the positive.
So from a corporate point of view, this can save you money or it can make you money.
Saving money and making money both occur.
Has this got to be implemented at a board level or on individual managers?
There's lots of implications at the policy level, board level, as well as at the individual practice level. I mean, one of the most simple but powerful practices associated with positive leadership has to do with the concept of energy. Now, what does that mean? When I interact with you, what happens to my energy? Am I uplifted, elevated, are you life-giving, or are you depleting, exhausting? As it turns out, what we've discovered is that sense of energy, that is the extent to which you're an energizer in your organization, is 4 times more important than your title, than your hierarchical position, than your position in an influence network or an information network.
But I mean, just to look at it as an individual manager, you're in charge of a team of people. What do you do with somebody who's underperforming? How do you make them perform using these sort of things?
Well, one of them is to put them around a positive energizer. As it turns out, the research is clear. If you're a positive energizer and I can get around you, my performance goes up. And not only that, but most organizations that have high performance have more positive energizers than normal organizations. And so I would talk about energy, or I would help manage energy in an organization, but a bunch of other things too. Incentive system rewards, I would worry about social capital and having people involved in teams that are high quality connections. I would worry about intellectual capital, helping people learn more, stretch their boundaries. I worry about ideological capital, which has to do with profound purpose and meaning of the work we do.
But if you could just give one piece of advice to a manager out there, what would it be?
The leadership literature, for the most part, equates influence and leadership. 75% of the people who write about leadership say you're a good leader if you're a good influencer. As it turns out, positive energy trumps that by a factor of 4. It's 4 times more important than influence. So I would say, and there's a long list of things to do to foster this, but I would say the single most important thing you can do in an organization is to foster, enable positively energizing leaders.
Professor Cameron, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
To keep up to date with business school news and analysis, you can go to ft.com/business education.
So when I first watched that video for the first time, it really resonated with me because it's powerful and it's something that we can all completely control. We're in charge of how we show up and how we present ourselves every day. Does anyone have anything that they can give on, going into work in our environments and a time that maybe there's been some negative energy, and what you've done as a leader kind of turn that situation around?
I started to get to work earlier because I noticed, when I get in, I'm kind of cranky in the morning. Jeremy knows this. But I'm not comfortable yet until I get in. I knock out my emails. I get my desk kind of cleared up and make my goals for the day. And so, but in doing so, I realized that I was kind of projecting negative energy on my team, leave me alone until I get these things done. So by getting in an hour earlier, I can then focus on my team as soon as they get into work. So as soon as they get there, I'm ready to go, hey, how's everybody doing? And hosting, a short little meeting, especially now that we have half an hour. Just love it. But anyway, getting in an hour earlier to get my stuff out of the way has helped me create positive energy.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome that you self-reflected, right? You realized that something was going on and you were able to put something in place and make it better. I've worked with people before where I'm in the office and I'm a pretty happy-go-lucky person, but they come into work every day, they don't say good morning, they don't talk to you, and even if you say good morning, they don't say it back, and it weighs you down. And so the power of something so simple, it's crazy to me. Does anyone else have any examples of something that they've been through?
I was just gonna say consistency too. So I, believe it or not, may not always be happy. But even when I'm coming in, I'm leaving that negativity out and I'm projecting that. So if I have a negative team member, I'm consistent with being upbeat, high energy. Like my morning meetings are my platform for me to perform my comedy. So, I mean, but getting people to laugh, like it sets the tone for the entire day, or something funny that happened, you know, with a maintenance guy. Just we're family, right? Like, so I want to start off the mornings with high energy and get ready for the day. And we do have people that are negative, but it's consistency. Keep it going. You're not
You
gonna.
have a challenge because your maintenance is stressed and they're overworked and you're trying to get them help. You haven't been there yet,
Yep.
and the way, like when I walk into your office, I feel the energy, and the way that you host your team meetings, and even though they're just quick and every morning you still do it, you making jokes and laughing makes everyone else comfortable, and they're willing to share stuff that they're having trouble with too, because that's the other problem. If you're closed off, no one's gonna share with you what they're struggling with, and then we lose good people.
Yep.
Because they're unhappy, but we don't even know. So I think that's great that you do that. You're a real good comedian.
Well, and the whole purpose of this presentation, you know, you all read Creating Magic last year, right? And we focused some coffee talks around that. So we have a new book to introduce this year to you.
So the energy bus. Erin's gonna pass out these books. We'd like for you guys to obviously read them, but we're gonna kind of skim the information over. There are 10 rules, so we're gonna go over the 10 rules with you today. So number 1, you are the driver of your bus. You're in charge, which can be very empowering. This is empowering because you can see a team struggle, and with your positive energy, you can shift that around. I think that's better than winning an award. Gabby. I'm just kidding. I mean, to see a team improve just because you were a positive leader it feels great. So the way you lead depends on where your bus is headed. You have the power to decide what direction your bus will take. You have choices. Make one choice at a time. So, like I said, Honky Tonk and I are going to go over all of these rules. But
I started that myself, so.
But again, I just think you really have to pay attention to how you show up, and you can shift a team that's struggling just by being positive. It sounds pretty easy, and we're gonna make Sarah happy because we're gonna make money. And it's great.
Everyone loves when Sarah's happy. So we're gonna do a little exercise, 10 minutes, and like Emily was saying, you know, it's the desire, vision, and focus that moves your bus in the right direction. And as leaders, you create that desire. You have to know what your purpose is to be able to, number 1, reach your own personal goals, but also your team members. So this is something we're not gonna share with everyone because it's personal, right? It incorporates professional and personal, but self-reflection is something that you should do often. The instructions, you first have to decide what you want. Then you can start creating it. Don't let the world create you. You create your world. So just to take some time to really kind of go over these next 3 questions and write that down, because that's going to be the fuel for how we get your bus moving in the right direction. So I'm going to pass these out. I skipped you over, sorry. All right, just take a few minutes, reflect.
So we don't have to share these?
No, they're for you. Because they're so fun. you know, reevaluating.
No, yeah.
Ashley, I feel like this is a bait and switch. I think you're
You know?
gonna-
These are pretty deep questions.
They're cute.
So, yeah.
So, and this seems like a fairly simple exercise, right? But we get so busy in our day-to-day, I mean, we have to multitask all day long. And why we wanted to do this exercise, it comes directly from the book, but, it's really important to take time, whether it's once a week, and just kind of reflect on the things that you want and what your purpose is. So, that's why we wanted to pass these out today and start this exercise and process with you all. Because we thought it went really good with our vision and our goal boards that we're gonna be doing inside of all of our offices.
So, on the first point, think about where you want your bus to go and how you can steer it to get there. So have a plan before you collaborate, think about what's best for your team, and you lead that. Be passionate about the direction that your bus is going, so talk about it. Bring it up, make it real. Vision gives you the ability to look ahead to see what it will be like to accomplish your goals. So this is your vision board, your goals, team meetings. This is where it all comes to life. Focus reminds you to ignore distractions and concentrate on your destination. Don't waste time living in the past or visiting the past. It's good to reflect on things that you can improve, but don't stay there. Move forward. The energy we project through our thoughts is the energy we receive. Just something simple that happened to me this morning. After Aaron and I thought we had a stellar performance, I called my husband this morning, like, this is terrible. Jump on LinkedIn, find me a job. So he was like, puts my kids on the phone, and they're like, you're gonna do great, Mom. And I know it's cheesy, and Aaron's definitely more energetic than I am sometimes, but it just put it in my head that I'm gonna do great, it doesn't matter, and my family supports me. And so it just made it better to walk into this room. I was still petrified, but I just knew I was gonna give it everything I could to make my family proud. So again, putting your head in the right space projects that on other people.
So there's a quote by Albert Einstein, everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy, this is physics. And as I read this, it brought up in a couple different things for me. So, this is like something a little bit personal, but a few years back, my dad had gotten in a really bad car accident. He was driving an ambulance and ended up having a heart attack and crashed. And he was life-flighted and he almost didn't make it. And I remember I was staying the night in the hospital with him, visibly upset, and that's my dad. And this nurse comes by and she takes my hand and she holds it. And she looked at me and she said, you always have to remember something. Positive thoughts equal positive results. And even though it was so hard, and it was so hard to be positive in that time, during my dad's recovery, which took a really long time, he was told he was never going to be able to walk again, maybe not ever even run again, and he was an avid marathon runner. Anytime I ever got down, I thought about what she said, positive thoughts equal positive results. And I was extra positive around him, and it sounds hokey, and sometimes it's not rah-rah, it's sincere. And I will tell you, in 2 years after that, not only could my dad walk again, but he actually ran 3 miles. And it's just amazing what energy can do when you put it out into the universe and how it can affect other people. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to share that.
And that's an awesome story. And I was there when that happened, so I did see the results of that. I'm not so much like positive energy, rub these rocks, they're gonna make salt caves. It's hard for me to get into that. But I'm pretty transparent about, and maybe not everybody knows, and it's personal, but my fertility struggles, I had to actually move to Illinois to do IVF. I had several failed ones. I ended up working out. I have 3 crazy boys. But I remember my sister-in-law, who is like in the salt caves, and just was always telling me, you have to look at it, you have to look at it. And she was just like, envision the crib in the room, and just imagine that it's happening and see it. And I was like, there's no way I can't do this. But I did, and whether it worked or not, it helped me take my mind off the negative part of it. And I was like so focused on envisioning this positivity. So again, it might help to figure out what works for you, because it's not gonna work for everybody. I mean, like I said, you gotta find out what's gonna motivate and inspire you to be positive.
Okay, so moving on, rule 3, fuel your ride with positive energy. Kind of like we just talked about, events plus perception equal outcome. Because it's something, like doing those self-reflection exercises, you have to have the right mindset. Because if you don't change your mindset, your team's gonna know it, your residents are gonna know it, they're gonna pick up on it, they're gonna fuel off of that energy. Your bus is your most valued possession. With such a prized vehicle, you would make sure it had the best care, including premium gasoline. You want to take care of your bus. Make sure you emit positive energy, because you will have the greatest impact on the energy of those around you. Choose to turn a negative situation into a positive one. Yeah, for sure.
So I feel like a great example is Courtney. She's always positive to the point where I'm like, don't be so positive. She has like turned situations around, like even just being by herself, and I mean, her words speak for themselves, but she always takes any negative situation, and not only does she self-reflect on how to make it positive, but she forces me to, and you do, everyone around her. So it is she probably feels better than I do, just being positive. But I don't know if you want
uncomfortable.
But I don't know if you want to talk about that, because I feel like you're so great about it. It is a natural thing for you, but I just don't know if you have any examples of any time.
I think it was my parents, honestly, because I feel like my mom is so positive too. But like, I don't know, I guess I always think things could be way worse. Like whatever it is, it could be worse. So I just am like, I don't know, sorry, that's the lame answer too.
No, that's a great answer, and that's part of what's in this book too, is thinking about that. I think April and I were talking last night that it was so great for you guys to do the State of the Union, because it was like we were hearing the positivity, and sometimes we get so caught up on occupancy and, you know, where we need to be, and I feel like I'm the Grim Reaper because that's all I talk about, but it was great to hear the great things that we're doing too, because I think you get stuck in that and how well we're doing, so.
Yeah, and you want to encourage your team around you. There was an example somebody gave me one time. Let's say I'm at a property and I have delinquency challenges. And when you break it all down, you have like 400 units, it's like 10, 15 people that aren't paying their rent on time, right? And your energy is always on them, like pay your rent, pay your rent. But you have all these other residents that are paying their rent on time and they're amazing residents. But our focus is going into getting the delinquency, and we need, as leaders, to balance that and encourage our team and really get on the social events and resident retention and showing those people that are doing what they're supposed to be doing, showing them some love, you know? So it's just something that you can look at a negative, and there's always a positive to overcome it.
I thought of something.
Yeah.
My family just good. I always said we were like yin and yang. It's like you do need a group of, if everyone was positive, that's awesome. That's not realistic, but it's like they also brought me to a level, because sometimes I can be rainbows and butterflies up here. So it's like I'm like, okay, that's a great point. That's a great point. Or like I've always said, Emily's taught me how to approach people about things in the way she like words it is so perfect. I'm like I never. What did I always do? I'd always like say the problem. I'd be like, but it's okay, we'll like work it out. She's like, no, just like confront the person. I'm like, this is true. So I think you do need all sides, just to put it out there. So thank you.
Absolutely. Balance is a good thing.
Yes.
Take time for gratitude walks where you think about all the things in your life that you're grateful for. Because you made a great point, Courtney. There's always something worse, right? Like there's worse circumstances than what we're currently going through right now. So rule number 4, invite people on your bus and share your vision for the road ahead. Remember, you're driving the bus, but as you drive, you want to keep asking people to get on. The worst they can say is no. If you don't ask, they don't get on. And that's with our team. We need to make sure as leaders that we're having one-on-ones with them and that we're setting the expectation, we're sharing our purpose, we're sharing our vision. Because if we don't, then how do we mentor, you know, talk to them, coach them on a daily basis? The worst they can say is no.